letters are made up of parts. If it's a plain like a Gothic or a sans serif face, if there's a capital E, I can base several letters off of a cap E. Like take the bottom arm off, make a cap F, turn it over this way, omit the middle arm, there's your cap L. Take the arm off that, there's a cap I. Take two cap I's and put a bridge between them, then there's your H. And then take a cap I and put a line across the top, and there's a T. So there we have 5 letters off of one character.
And Robert Donona knows these parts well because he's a font collector, an amateur typographer.
Yep. I have probably about 500 fonts.
A lot of them he made up the names for.
Like Gloria Jean Cursive. Yeah, that was a relative. So that's why I named it that.
Or like Scientific Lab.
It does look like a sign on a scientific laboratory door, doesn't it? As important as type is, not everybody, unfortunately, is interested in it, right? Here's an interesting face called Pamela, which was originally a 19th century face. Here's Candace.
But Donona's interest has spanned nearly his entire life.
And then here's artistic. And as a kid, then I used to look in books, magazines, and newspapers at the different typestyles because of the interesting letter forms. And sometimes I used to hate it when my great-grandmother threw them out when she did house cleaning.
What fascinated him so much, he says, was the beauty of the characters themselves. As a child, he was diagnosed with both a vision disorder and a nervous condition. But he says letters and numbers were always clear to him, and gazing at them made him feel happy, calm.
Like these interesting letter forms as you see there.
And today, at 55, he says he sees his work as a kind of ongoing battle against visual monotony.
You know, there's an old saying, man cannot live off bread and water alone, right? Well, same way in type. You can't make it off of Times Roman or Helvetica or Arial. You got to have a variety of, otherwise advertising or visual communication would be boring, wouldn't it?
He finds his fonts in obscure old publications that he gets online, from yard sales, thrift stores, and from the Cleveland Public Library.
Like this publication from the 1870s.
The downtown branch of the library is also where he does much of his work creating fonts.
If there's something interesting in there, then I put it in the scanner, and then I use the scanner, and then I draw around the character and then clean it up.
You might think with all this work, Donona would be looking to make money from his fonts. But for him, this is a passion project. He gives his typefaces out for free to those who ask, and uses some of his favorites to make greeting cards for friends and relatives.
If there weren't a lot of people, who do this, a lot of interesting stuff would be lost. It's kind of a way of preserving the heritage of some of it. It might bring somebody else joy somewhere down the road, right? Which makes sense, doesn't it?